What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. I've got this cool new optic right here from Vector Optics, and it's a little bit different than any ordinary red dot. It's bigger than a pistol red dot, but it's smaller than an Eotech, so it fits somewhere in between there, and I'm kind of excited about it. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Alright guys, so this red dot was sent to me by Vector Optics to do a review on. If you want to check it out, I've got a link below. Also, I've got links to the other cool stuff like this gun that it's sitting on. This is a Bear Creek Arsenal 9mm upper. Say what you want about Bear Creek, this thing's been running great for me. It's plenty accurate for 9mm. I was hitting out to 50 yards, as you can see in the video. I've been beating the crap out of it, doing drop tests with it, and it's been chugging along, spitting out everything. It's a blowback 9mm. It's hard to mess up. Anyway, I like what it is. I like the form factor and all that sort of stuff. I've got a, I think this is a reared-in flash hider on the front. Streamlight flashlight right here, little riser, Magpul stub, Magpul grip, Aero Precision 9mm AR lower, and an SB Tactical folding brace. Don't know what model this is, but you can look it up and see for yourself. So really stiff. So she said. Anyway, that's the gun that it's riding on and all the little cool stuff if you want to know before the video starts. So check out those links and I'd appreciate it. Alright, so like I said in the intro, the thing that kind of makes this thing different and what kind of excites me the most about it is it's not like a standard red dot. As you can see, like this, it's considerably smaller. I mean, larger than a Holosun RMR size red dot, and it's considerably smaller than like a full-size Eotech, which I don't have an Eotech, but you just have to take my word for it. It kind of fits right in between RMR size and Eotech size, which is kind of cool because I've never really seen a lot of optics that do that. And for a handgun, it's kind of big. It'd be like a strictly competition handgun optic, and the footprint is kind of weird. It's not like a normal, like a RMR or what's the Loophole footprint. It's something different, Seymour or something like that. I'll write it in the video right there. But anyway, it does come with a Picatinny mount on the bottom. It's quick detach. It's got a little lever right here. So you can mount it on top of a riser on whatever you want. I think the best place for it is like a little carbine, kind of like this, a little PCC, maybe like a Flux Raider, a Glock with a Recover 2020 chassis on it, something like that. A little small PCC, I think that would be great for. Even like a 5-6 inch 300 blackout would be pretty cool. Basically PDW size. It's got a nice big window, bigger than a like I said, an RMR, but it's still kind of compact and small and lightweight, lighter than an Eotech. So it's pretty much like a standard pistol red dot on steroids. Everything else is the same. It's got buttons on the side, just like every other one. It's got a side-loading battery tray. The windage and elevation exactly the same. Same form factor, all that kind of stuff. It's just a bigger window and a bigger footprint. And as far as durability goes, it's made by Vector Optics. They make a lot of other optics, and I believe they even make optics for other companies. They're like rebranded, stuff like that. But as far as durability goes, I've dropped it on the ground, on the side, on each side, on the top. I've been putting a butt ton of rounds through it, firing it fast. And this little 9mm doesn't kick kind of like hard. It is a little punchy because any kind of like direct blowback 9mm or something like that, it's a little more punchy than like an AR. But anyway, it's not terrible. But I've been trying to put it through some normal abuse. I'm not just gonna like smack it with a hammer or shoot it with a shotgun, something like that. But I've put some nicks and dings on it, normal drop height, and I've been able to hit 25, 50 yards. You know, it's still holding pretty good. The only thing that kind of concerns me about this, kind of mentioned earlier, was the mount and the footprint. There's not a lot of options for you know, how you can mount it. The good thing is they do send it with a Picatinny mount on the bottom, so whatever, you know, everything comes with Picatinny on top. If you want to mount it on an AR, like a 300 Blackout, something like that, that needs a little bit of height on it, you can always just buy a Picatinny riser. Those are pretty popular. You can find them anywhere, and you can get it up to whatever height you want. Speaking of higher optics, it does have night vision settings, and I'll roll in some footage of looking through it with night vision, see what that looks like. So you can, you know, boost it up and use your passively with your night vision. So the footprint, like I said, not a lot of options for it. I think it's mainly for like competition stuff. So they make those like mounts that go under the bottom of the handgun. It's like a plate that sits on top that doesn't move with the slide. That's like the only ones I can really find for it. But if you do want to use Picatinny, the only really issue I've seen with this little quick connect clamp right here is I've got it as tight as I can get it, and it's still, you can feel like a little bit of like kind of like a little back and forth on it. I hope that sound was accurate and made sense to you. But I've put it on there as tight as I can, like mash it down. And it's got this screw on the backside that has a little detent in it, so you can like rotate it to increase the tightness of it. Yeah. So I've turned that thing, clamped it down, shot it, come back. It's still got that little bit of kind of wobble, like a microscopic wobble. I come back, tighten the screw a little more, clamp it down. I've got it as tight as I can really get it, and I'm afraid I'm going to like break it if I get it any tighter. You know, having to push this lever down, I'm afraid I'm going to stretch the whole mechanism out and, you know, put too much force on it. But that being said, even with that little bit of wobble, I'm still able to hit like a small steel at 50 yards, pretty fast aiming. You know, I'm not going to get it out to 100 because, you know, this is a 5-inch 9mm barrel. You know, that could, any kind of accuracy discrepancy at 100 yards, I, you know, could just mount it to the barrel right here. So I'm not really going to do that. But anyway, I'm hitting consistent at 50 yards on a little bitty steel, so I'm pretty happy with that. It could just be the Picatinny out of spec. This is a UTG 1/2-inch riser, which, you know, people say what they want about UTG. It's just a little riser. I've mounted other things on it, scopes and other scope mounts, scope rings, all that kind of stuff. And they've all held really well, really tight. It seems to be in spec. So, you know, I don't know if it's just a little microscopic out of specness, if that's really a word, on the clamp or the rail. I've tried this Optic. I mounted it on another rail. It still kind of had that little bit of rattle to it. I tried to tighten it down just a little bit. Not as tight as I've got it on this, but it still had it nonetheless. So, I don't know. Maybe that's something they can look at, or maybe it might not even be an issue. The dot is a 6 MOA dot, which I kind of prefer smaller dots, mainly because I've got astigmatism, and whatever size dot is automatically going to be larger for me because my eye is going to like flare out that dot. So a 6 MOA dot just flares out to like a 10 or 12 MOA dot. It's just a big red dot. But you're shooting close range with not a short barreled, you know, basically a handgun, barrel length 9mm. You know, how precise are we trying to get? I'm not taking, you know, 4-inch size shots at 300 yards, you know, with a magnifier or anything like that. So 6-inch, but essentially a 6-inch dot, 6 MOA dot. Plenty good enough. You can find it really easy when you come up. This thing actually, I'm so used to my other dots sitting like really high. Whenever I bring this up, the dot tends to be at the top of the screen right there. But that's just me. I have to really get down on it, you know, to get lined up. I might just have to get like a 3/4 or a 1-inch riser if I plan on leaving this on here, which I probably will, because I think it fits the package pretty well. The dot itself gets plenty bright. You know, I'm out here in the daytime, and you know, even staring into the sun, you can still see it. It gets plenty bright enough. It gets plenty dim enough. Like I said, it has you know, it can be dim enough for night vision, that sort of thing. So no worries there on how bright the dot is. The front lens is coated, as you can see. It's got, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's got a little bit of a red tint, a little tint of red, just like, you know, everything else. Like this Holo Sun right here, 407, it's got, you know, color on it. I know one thing that's big right now is being able to cover the front of the Optic, cover the front of the flashlight with, you know, 100 Concepts makes some awesome light caps. I've got a bunch of them. I've got some scope caps from them. Anyway, point is, a lot of people are trying to cover the glare on the front. The downside of this is it's not a normal shape, and I doubt, you know, any company like 100 Concepts or something like that is going to make a cover to fit this, just because there's not very many red dots out there that fit this shape right here. So you're going to have to get creative if you want to cover the front and hide the glare. So to wrap it all up, this little red dot right here, I'm kind of excited about, just because of like what it is, the size. It kind of fits that gap between like a really small handgun size red dot and like a big full size Eotech, which I think goes great on, you know, small guns like this. The dot, the picture of it looks great. The dot's crisp, you know, as far as I can tell with my astigmatism. But anyway, everything on it seems to be working great. The little Picatinny quick connect is what it is. We'll see. Time will tell if it you know, causes more issues in the future. But I would say you could just put it on a different riser, but we already stated they're kind of hard to find because of the footprint. But the dot itself has been holding up great. Like I said, I've dropped it a little bit. I've been shooting a bunch of rounds through it. I haven't had it that long. I haven't put, you know, thousands of rounds. I haven't beat it, abused it, all that sort of thing. But so far, so good. So that's pretty much it. Like I said earlier, there's a link below in the description if you want to go check one out. I really appreciate y'all watching this video and sticking to the end and listen to me ramble about this little red dot here. So y'all be good. Y'all stay safe. Get out, make yourself stronger, make yourself better. And, you know, get in the Word, read your Bible. We'll see y'all next time.